Hello, guys, gals, and non binary pals, and welcome to part 4 of artists that I listen to. We have 5 more artists for you today. Maybe you know them, maybe you don't. Only one way to find out. Let's get into it. First up, we have Ashnikko. I actually have a really interesting listening journey when it comes to Ash because I started listening to her in like 2020 because she was kind of associated with Melanie Martinez, who I was a big fan of, but I didn't like her music at the time because I used to be very picky with my music. Then in 2021, I ended up going through a really bad breakup from an abusive relationship, and one of my friends introduced me to her song Stupid, which was kind of really big at the time. And I actually ended up really liking it, went back and listened to her discography up to that point, and I was like, oh, why did I ever hate this? This is fucking amazing. And now she's one of my top 10 favorite artists, and I've seen her live, and it's a whole thing. She has several projects. She started releasing music on Spotify back in 2017 with the EP Sass Pancakes. My favorite from this EP is probably the song Thrust. In 2018, she released the EP Unlikable. My favorite is No Brainer, although Invitation is really popular because of the message. In 2019, she released the EP Hi, It's Me. Stupid, really big favorite of mine. I love that song, Manners. I was so surprised when she played that song live in her Weedkiller tour, but I definitely really enjoyed it. In 2021, she released Demi Devil. This project is a hit or a miss for me. I love all of the songs on it, but I definitely have my favorites. My number one favorite being Slumber Party. I feel like we don't get horny music that often, at least not from women. In 2023, she released Weedkiller. This is probably my favorite project of hers. This is the one that I went to see live. Dying Star is probably my favorite, although I love Weedkiller. Chokehold Cherry Python, when she played that song live, she made direct eye contact, and I have that on my camera. It was absolutely gorgeous. In 2024, she released her last Halloweeny for a while. I don't know if she said that was her definitive end. This has been going on since like 2018. Every Halloween, she'd like release a Halloweeny song. There's 6 of them. My favorite Halloweeny song is probably Innards, the 4th one, but Halloweeny 5 is definitely a standout. And then just recently in 2025, she released her album Smooshies. This one took a while to grow on me, but I'm definitely a big fan of it now. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what her music career brings, but she is definitely one of my favorites. Next, we have Elvis Presley. I'm definitely a more casual listener. I only listened to 2 of his albums, Blue Hawaii and Elvis Presley. I've known of him since basically forever, but I never really listened to him for the longest time. I don't actually know why. But what got me into his music was actually Destiel fanfic Twist and Shout. If you know, you know. Heartbroken is all I can say. And obviously, it Can't Help Falling in Love was a big part of that fanfic. And so then I started listening to him casually. Maybe I'll get into more of his music, maybe I won't. I'm not entirely sure, but I do like what I've heard so far. Yeah. Third on this list, we have Toa Bird. I knew her best as Renee Rapp's girlfriend, and then I was on Spotify and one of her songs got suggested to me, and I was like, wait, she makes music? That's so cool. In 2023, she released a live EP, Live from Terminal 5, and then in 2024, released her debut album, American Hero. I'm gonna be honest, I don't listen to her very much, so I couldn't tell you much about her music. She's definitely more of a casual listen to me. But I do know I really love the song Bills. That song gets stuck in my head so often. It's definitely a standout from hers. And then earlier this year, 2026, she released her album Gentleman. This one I haven't listened to nearly as often, but I do know I have listened to it and I do know I like it. So I'm excited to see where she goes. Definitely a smaller artist considering her girlfriend is the Renee Rapp, but it also just kind of proves that she's working for it and not relying solely on her girlfriend's name, which I think is pretty cool. Next, we have Jasmine Bean. I can tell you exactly when I started listening to Jasmine Bean, and it was in 2020 when Melanie was like, hey, listen to the song Yandir, Yandere. I don't actually know how to say that word. But listen to the song by Jasmine Bean because it's amazing, and I listened to it, and it was amazing, and I've been listening to Jasmine ever since. They started dropping music on Spotify in 2019 with their single War Urchin, and in 2020 released Worldwide Torture. It's listed as a single on Spotify, but it's definitely like an album length. It's 11 songs long. I do remember they had another song, and I don't remember what it was called because it got deleted, but it was a great song. Anyway, then they released a couple of singles throughout 2021, 2022, and then in 2023 started promoting their next album, which released in 2024, called Traumatic Livelihood. I actually went on tour before, or saw Jasmine on their first US tour before this album actually dropped. Definitely love the album. Piggy is probably my favorite, which was the lead single. In 2024, also, they released the extended version, which was just a single. It included a single they dropped between Traumatic Livelihood and the extended version, along with some Strawberry House sessions from some of the original songs. And then, as of this year, they started promoting singles for what we assume is their upcoming album, but we don't have any official details on that yet. But I am very excited to see what comes of this. Last on this list, we have Baby Queen. I started listening to Baby Queen because she wrote the song Colors of You for the Heartstopper TV series, and I was obsessed when it first came out. Definitely a really big song, at least as far as Heartstopper goes. Baby Queen is, like, known from Heartstopper, at least I think she is, because that's where I know from. She started releasing music in 2020 with the single Internet Religion, and in 2021 released her first album, The Yearbook, which was pretty good, actually. I really like this album. Released a couple of singles, including 3 different versions of Colors of You, which is honestly pretty awesome because I love that song, although I love the original the most. In 2023, she released Quarter Life Crisis. I was also obsessed with this album. It's so good. I highly recommend. Then she took a little break, and in 2026, this year, started releasing a couple of singles, and at the end of this month, July 24th, she will have her next album, I Hope You Don't Remember Me, coming out, which I'm very excited for. I've loved all of the singles that have come out so far. But anyway, those are 5 artists that I listen to. Let me know if you listen to any of them, which ones you like, which ones you think you'll be checking out. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!